So the next thing I want to introduce to you is about the hedge ratio. So it's mean that we want to use the future and forward to hedge our positions. So normally we need to calculate how many contracts, how many forward contracts or future contracts to buy so that we can hedge our positions. So it really depends, right? So for example, if you are the if you need some pound in the futures. So how many forward contracts to buy the pound? So you will take in the long positions, right? So it's very important. But the idea is that we need to learn about the hedge ratio to decide how many contracts to buy. The reason is that if we can find out the totally the same forward or future contract in the market with the underlying assets is very easy, right? So if you can find the gold contract and you need the gold, so you just buy the gold. So the idea is for example, you need to 10 millions dollar and one contract is 1 million, so very easy, you just buy 10 contracts, right? But the thing is that sometimes our requirements and the market condition is not the same, so the products in the market is not totally the same with your requirements, your underlying you require. So in that case, we need to realize on very important things is a optimal hedge ratio. So what does it mean? It means that the positions we want to have is the S, the spot, the underlying assets here, the S. However, in the market we only have F, is another product but very related to our product. For example, you would like to hedge for the orange. However, in the market we have apple. So in that case, you need to calculate the standard deviation of the price of your orange, right? And the price of the apple in the market. And we calculate the price variation. So in that case, I will calculate the standard deviation, right? To measure the variation of the price in the orange and the variation in the price of the apple. After we recalculate these two standard deviation, you take the ratio and times the what? The rho is what? Rho is the coefficient of correlation between the change in the price of the orange and the price of the apple. So the price of S and F, and you put into this formula, you have the optimal hedge ratio. So after that, what should we do next? After we calculate this ratio, we can apply the next formula is this formula, the optimal number of contract. So optimal number of the contract, what does it mean? It means that how many contract we need to buy using the hedge ratio, right? So if we have the Q is what? Q is a the size of positions being hedged. So it's in the units. For example, gold, how many ounce you need to buy. For pound, how many pound you need to buy, right? The size of one future contract is also in the same units, right? For example, how many ounce in per contract, and you can take this formula to calculate the number of contract. So another way is that we can have the H head, and you can use a value. So it's not in the units but in the value. For example, in dollar. So the dollar of total dollar of the total value in dollar of the positions you have, and the total value of the dollar in dollar of the each future contract. So you can take this ratio. So H hat, so you use it for the value, and H star you use for the unit, the number, right? So where is the H hat is here, so I should move to here. Okay, so it's totally the same, right? If you read the slide, you see that H star is using the delta S and delta S. So it means that you take today minus yesterday. The difference is the change in the spot price. However, if you want to calculate the A star, you need to H star is using the daily change, right? But H hat, what does it mean? If you read carefully, you will see that here we have the percentage daily change. So it means that daily change today minus yesterday, but you need to divide by yesterday price. So it's a little bit differences. But if you use a percentage daily change, when you calculate the optimal contract, you need to time with the ratio between the value, right? But if you use a quantity, the unit one, so you need to time with the A star. So we have some example in the slide to read. So I hope that you can learn from this this slide. Okay. Maybe I will give you another example, some example to work at home. But the idea is using this hedge ratio, we can calculate how many contract we need to buy. So it's also very practical idea, practical things we need to learn from this slide.